Hey.
Did I miss anything?
You missed the lecture, but the notes are on the website, so you can review it if you want to. All right. So we want to publish our Bitsy game online. You obviously will want to, play the game and make sure everything works. So make sure to, play the game, just test everything out, make sure everything is working as it should. Let's see if I can get my cheese and talk to this mouse. And let's see if I can get my, whoops, I'll get my key card and go through this door. And that's all I've created. You guys have to have at least 5 rooms. Obviously you can have more than that if you want, but that's all I've done for my demo. So I'm gonna stop here. So we wanna publish the Bitsy game on itch.io. If we go to tools and go to game, we can save our game. So remember we have the game data, which we can save as a Bitsy file. That's just for the Bitsy platform. So you can't publish the Bitsy data file. You can just save that so that you can load it later. That's a good thing to do, if you want to be able to edit it again in the future. You may want to save a copy of the game so you can email it to yourself or save it on a drive or something like that. But for publishing, we want the HTML version of the game. So this will let us publish on itch.io. So I'm going to save the HTML version. And then if I go to the Finder and go to Downloads, we can see that HTML version here. And if I open this up in Sublime Text, you don't need to do this, but I just want to show you what this looks like. You can see it's just a pretty simple HTML document. It has all of our Bitsy data in here. So it actually has the data built into it. So you could probably, recreate your Bitsy data if you needed to. But then it also has all of this JavaScript down here is the Bitsy engine itself. So this is what actually makes it run. And all of this is just built into this one HTML file, which is pretty convenient because it means that we just have one file to deal with. We don't have a whole bunch of other stuff that we have to do. And it's not even that big. It's 265 kilobytes. So that's kind of the example of using a sort of what I've called opinionated game engine like Bitsy, is that we don't have to worry about all these other assets. We don't have to worry about having all the right files in the right place. It's all built into this one HTML file. That's going to change next week when we start using Game Maker, and we'll look at the kind of differences there. Anyway, I have this one HTML file. It's got everything I need to publish my game online. So I'm going to go back to Chrome, and I'm going to go to itch.io. And I'm going to upload my game. So I'm already logged in. You may need to log in. I'm going to upload a new project. You can name this after whatever you want, the name of your game. I'm just going to call this Bitsy Game Fall 2025. And that'll generate a URL. You can edit that if you want. You don't have to. You can add a description if you want. And we'll leave the classification as games. For the project, we're going to change this from downloadable to HTML. So make sure you do that. With the Twine games, a few people forgot to do that, and so you couldn't play the game in the browser. So just make sure you switch this to HTML. And then we're going to select no payments. And then we're going to upload our index file, or our HTML file. So we're going to upload this Bitsy .html. And make sure to click on this file will be played in the browser. For this game, I think you can leave it as embed in page because it's gonna kind of fit the game, the game window. You may want to make it like a square because the game is a square. So I'm gonna try 640 by 640 and see how that looks. If it looks bad, I'll adjust it. And then you also might want to put a cover image. We could take a quick screenshot of our room. So I'm gonna go to my first room, and I'm just gonna make a screenshot, and then I'll download that. And so I'll upload this here. So it's nice to have a little cover image just so we can see a visual along with the game. And just ignore all this stuff. You can add a description here if you like. You can add a genre here if you want. We could call this is like a RPG. Oh, role playing. Tags, you could put a Bitsy tag if you want. You could tag other things. I could tag like mouse, or oh no, it's not mouse only. Mouse. Okay, it won't let me do that. What if I do cheese? Oh, I have to click add cheese. Okay, mouse, add mouse. Okay. I did not use AI, so I'm just gonna click no here. If you used AI for this, I don't know how you would do that with Bitsy, so that's just gonna be no. And then leave the comments on, because that's obviously how we're doing our feedback. And then make sure that it's public. You can click unlisted if you don't want it to show up in like itch searches. So, you know, that's up to you, but I'm gonna click unlisted, and we're gonna click save and view. So this takes us to the game page, and if I run the game, we should see the game. And 640 by 640 is actually, I think, good. My screen on here is very low res because of the projector, so I think this should look fine on a normal computer. And there we go. It looks like it's working pretty well. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. If you want to edit the game theme to kind of match your game, you could do that. Like you could put maybe an embed background. We could use that same GIF, so that shows up when we load the page. We could change the font. You know, you can make it look like your project. Maybe I'll make the link color more like this color. So you can match that. If you want, you don't really have to do that if you don't want to. And so once you've created the game and published it, make sure it's actually like available. So if I open this in an incognito window, you should be able to see it. If you don't see it, if you see a 404, that means that you haven't made it public, or you haven't made it embedded in the page. Once you've done all that, you need to go to the Game Jam link that we created and submit the game. So you can find the Game Jam link on Brightspace down here, Bitsy Jam. It's also on the Open Labs site under links right here. And you can just click submit and choose your game, and then you'll be able to see some submissions. So this is an example one that I did at home, so I'll delete that, but we can see there's a couple that are already here. Lily added one, and I think this must be Jameer added one. So yeah, so we can all add our projects on here, and we'll do play testing in the second part of class. So that's it for now. I'm gonna stop recording.